It is a truth universally known that I love Jane Austen. I'd put a cut right here and it would have been great, but editing isn't something I can do anymore. Anyway, so hey guys, my name is Emma. Welcome to my second pre-recorded video, and I'm going to talk about Jane Austen today. And I'm going to tell you why I think you should read every one of Jane Austen's novels, because I just finished Persuasion. It was very good. So yeah, I'm going to go through them all and tell you the reasons why y'all should read them. And they're going to be, I don't know, my reasons or why they're awesome. I don't know. I'm not Ron Lit. This is not going to be some amazing literary critique. This is just going to be me flailing around about why I love Jane Austen. So I'm going to go through them chronologically, not by when they're published, but when I read them. So the first book I read by Miss J.A. was Pride and Prejudice, because everyone should start with Pride and Prejudice, unless you don't want to, and that's your prerogative. But Pride and Prejudice, as we all know, follows the story of Elizabeth Bennet and her family, the Bennets, and the Bennet sisters as they fall in love, they get married, they deal with drama and intrigue and Pride and Prejudice. Overall, it's a really wonderful story. It isn't my favorite Jane Austen novel, but this is why I think you should read it. Not for the romance, not for the Darcy of it all, because Darcy, although great, is kind of a douchebag. I'm talking about the sisters. Specifically Elizabeth and Jane. Reading about Elizabeth Jane is beautiful because, as we all know, Jane Austen writes family well and she writes sisters well. And Jane and Elizabeth are one of my favorite sister friends. What? Also Mary. Read it because Mary is sass. Not really, she's just kind of depressing and emo, but I feel like she'd listen to Connor Oberst if she lived now. Next book I read was Sense and Sensibility, also by Jane Austen. Sense and Sensibility follows Elinor Dashwood and Marianne Dashwood. It follows them after their father has died and left them and their mom and their little sister penniless. Not penniless, but kind of poor. And they have to move to a cottage. And there's love, and there's intrigue, and mostly love and intrigue. But I would read this not for Marianne's beautiful drama that in tears that lasts for at least 75 pages. I read it for Elinor Dashwood because Elinor Dashwood is a badass. She is the Tiana of Princess Frog, of Disney princesses of the Jane Austen world. She's a hard worker. She's sensible. She's also just a cool lady. She's cool. She's tough. I like her. She's stoic. Plus, when she gets together with a certain boy named Edward, it's kind of amazing because you can really tell that she really loves him, and she, really loves him. That was great. That was the worst one. This is going well. The next one I read was, what was the next one? Oh, Emma. Emma by Jane Austen. My absolute favorite of all of Jane Austen's novels. Reason why you should read Emma, or I should tell you what Emma's about. Emma Woodhouse. She's this beautiful girl. You know what Emma, you've seen Clueless at least. I'm not going to explain it. There's a Mr. Knightley who's pretty swoon-worthy, and there's an Emma who's, kind of bratty, but turns into this amazing person. Not amazing person, but this great person. And it's about, becoming less clueless. Well, actually just becoming a little more aware of your surroundings and aware of other humans and, respectful and all that good stuff. The reason why, there's a million reasons why you should read Emma, but my top three are A, Emma Woodhouse's transformation. She has the most character growth, in my opinion, of any Jane Austen character, and probably the most character growth I've ever read in a book. 2, Mr. Knightley. Mr. Knightley is my absolute favorite Jane Austen man. He's incredibly nice, he's kind, he calls Emma out on her BS, and he's generally just a good person, and I really appreciate that. And finally, you should read Emma because it's really funny, and the situations that the people get in are pretty funny. Overall, it's funny. Also, watch Emma Prove, because I think that's underrated. Next, I read Northanger Abbey. Northanger Abbey is probably my second favorite Jane Austen novel. It is definitely the funniest Jane Austen novel. And Northanger Abbey is sort of a parody of Gothic fiction. Or not Gothic fiction, but, Gothic fiction, I guess. I'm saying this wrong, whatever. Why you should read Northanger Abbey is because it's really, really funny. It isn't serious, really, and the romance in it is pretty cute. Overall, it's just an adorable book. It's a quick read, and it'll make you lol all day long. Next, I read Mansfield Park by Jane Austen. Probably the most hated Jane Austen novel, but very good. It's long and sort of annoying, and all the characters are awful, but read it. Oh, please read it for Fanny Price, because Fanny Price is great. I made a whole video about why Fanny Price is great. You should watch that video. You should watch it. I'm not going to link it below because I'm not trusting myself to do that, but just find it. It's there. Overall, though, Mansfield Park is just a complex read, and you're going to feel proud of yourself after you finish it. You're going to be like, I read the most hated Jane Austen novel, high five to me. And then finally, Persuasion by Jane Austen, the final Jane Austen novel that I read just recently. I'd read Persuasion because it is achingly beautiful. I think it's the most serious of all of Jane Austen's works, and it made me feel sadness. But also, it was very beautiful, and it has a happy ending, so it's okay. You know, so you know it's going to work out. But overall, it's just a beautiful book. It's beautiful and aching and lovely and great. And read it. Oh, read it. Oh, read it. Oh, read it. Anne Elliot is super amazing. Anyway, this was not intellectually stimulating, I know. Have a wonderful day, and I hope you enjoyed my Jane Austen gush session.